Hey guys, I'm here to show you my copper penny hoard. This is around $85 worth of copper pennies, in legal tender of course, not in melt. As you can see, they are copper pennies because of the brownish tint. If they were zinc, they could be have a brownish tint, but they might be shiny and or green because of the corrosion. And if you melted it down, you'd get around $158. The chance of finding a copper penny in the roll, in my experience, I live in the Midwest, it was around 1 in 4, with I think only one roll I got a third, which is crazy because I went through so many and got a fourth. I want to say most of them are from the rolls that I've went through. Now, I used to have a bigger hoard, another $95 worth in legal tender, but I sold it on eBay, and I kind of regret that because I guess I didn't see the wins of what these would be worth in the future. There's 3 reasons why copper is going to explode in the future, and one of them, who knows, but if the Democrats get elected, the populist Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she's able to push the Green New Deal, the federal government would buy up a ton of copper so they can build electric cars, or give it to, I guess they'd give it to car companies like GM and Chrysler, and to build electric cars, because electric cars have 2 times the amount of copper as a car that runs on gas, and a hybrid has 1.5 times the amount as one running on gas. And solar panels, they also take up a massive amount of copper. And another reason is because countries, developing countries, or not really developed countries, but countries that already have a large economy, but are going to explode in the future, like China. They're buying up a ton of copper to support all these cars they're building. I'm sure India's doing the same thing. And then you also have low production, where the supply is going to outmatch the production. There are some mines opening up in South America, but that is not going to support the amount that will be needed for the future. So yeah, that's why I'm hoarding pennies. And I also recommend you should as well. It's a good investment. It will take a lot of time. It takes around 3 hours to get through $25 worth of pennies. I remember going through $75 worth. It took the entire night once I got off school. And what I do typically, I go to one bank. It has a really sophisticated coin counting machine. I pour all my zinc pennies in there, and I try and do this very swiftly so I can head to the other bank where I get all my copper pennies that has a higher yield than any other bank. And so I do that. I go to the counter. Sometimes, annoyingly, the machine gets filled up. I have to go to the teller. They have to fix it. They can be rude sometimes. Most of the times they're pretty nice. And so once I get that settled, I go to the bank pretty close by, actually, and I pick up $50 worth. When I stopped doing this, because I started running out of funds, they started saying, you're draining our penny supply. We can only give you $25 worth. And so that's when I started. Even if I got money, I don't know. Is it really worth it? Because I want to spend all my night going through these. So, yeah, it's very, have to put a lot of time in this hobby, but hopefully it pays off. It could increase by 8 times what it is now, which the payoff would be extraordinary. Maybe as much as, oh, sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so my throat's a bit stuffed up. It's a bit sore, but maybe the payoff could be like Apple, who knows, where it's 1600% or something like that, something ridiculous. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys get invested in copper pennies. And I hope your yield is even better than mine. Perhaps it might be better in the states like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. The currency, people probably don't come to banks as much. Well, who knows? There probably isn't as many banks in those places, so it's proportional to the population. Who knows? They might have old pennies just lying in the back rooms of the banks. Who really knows? I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoy the video. Peace.